All right, so now we've been able to display the links, but we want to let the user add new links. So let's go dive into Django Forms and letting users actually create new links from our site. So what we're going to want to do is first start off by creating a view URL and template for this form feature. So we'll start off with the views. So we can open up our views.py file in our links app and scroll down and add another view. And we'll just call this add link, and it will take in the request. And then for now, we can just render a template that has a form. So we'll pass in the request, links/create.html will make this template, and then we'll pass in the empty dictionary. Okay, so far so good. You should know about rendering templates. So the next thing we're going to actually want to do is hook up the URLs to fire this view. So we can go into our urls.py file and add another route. So we can say path. This time it will be link/create. The view is what we just created. So add _link. And then we need to import that from .views up here. And we can name this create-link. Awesome. So the final thing we need to do is actually create the template. So we can go into our templates links directory and go new file. We called it create.html. And the first thing we'll need to do is extend the base. So we'll say extends links base.html. And then we can specify our block content. So we could say block content. This is what will be displayed in that base.html page. And then we need to also include the end block. And then within this block content, we can include a form. We could say form action equals empty string for now. We'll discuss this in detail shortly. Then we need to close the form. And then for now, we can just pass in two inputs. So we'll create two inputs. We'll say type equals text, and then type equals submit, and value equals create. So if we save this and we view this in the browser, make sure your server is running, and we go to /link/create, you can see we have this input here, which is kind of hard to see, but that's the input. And then this create is a submit button that we created. So if we type something in and click create, nothing would happen. And you see there's this little question mark up here, and it basically takes us to this same page and everything is removed. And that's because by default, the forms are sending the request with what is called a get method. And get methods are used by default whenever we go anywhere on our website. So when we go to our homepage, this is a get request, and it means we're getting some data. Typically means we're getting this template file and whatever data is inside. But when we go to /links/create, initially we want to have a get request to give us this template. But once we fill out our form with the link data and click create, we want to send what is called a post request so that we can send this data to the Django server and it can create a new link. And if we go back into our code, into our terminal, we can actually see in the terminal that every time we go to a new page, Django tells us a bit about the request. So here I went to link/create, and it said it was a get request, and it returned a status code of 200, which is okay. And now let's go back to the browser and see what happens when we click create. And if we go back to our terminal, you can see it sent another get request to link/create, and that was okay as well, but we don't have any of that form data. So in the next video, we're going to actually look at how to get the data out of that form.